Howdy, everyone, and welcome to the AppSmash Yeehaw Bash. So excited to see everyone here. I'm already seeing all the yeehaws and the howdies in the chats. Howdy from Vermont, howdy from Connecticut, Alabama, Newport News, a little bit of everybody. So let us know in the chats where you are, and if you give out a big old howdy or yeehaw, you get extra credit today. Howdy, Michael. Good to see you guys. We are so excited to get started today, but before we do, we want to make sure that you are getting registered for today's session. When you register, you make sure that you receive the access to our remixable resource book, which actually you can be entered to win a 3-month. Yes, I said it. 3 months, not David Hotler. 3 months of free premium book creator access, plus bunches of giveaways from us and all of our partners. And so make sure that you guys register. This is what you're going to be getting to. You're going to be able to remix this book and be entered for 3 months of premium book creator. But also make sure y'all stay till the end, because then you will be able to get that Yeehaw certification from us. So make sure you guys stay tuned all half an hour, 4 hours long, however we go. Ann and I and Sean and I were like, do we have a hard stop? And we're like, no, because we could go on forever. So if we're here a half an hour, if we're here 4 hours, we want you to be here with us. And here I'm bringing our friends on, Ann and Sean. Welcome, everybody. It's so great to have you guys on and ready to make some yeehaw moments. Say howdy to our folks.
Yeehaw! I got to start with that. Yeehaw! And I just put in the chat, live stream forever. So let's go.
Yeah,
I think everybody in the chat will be ready. Sean, we got to hear that yeehaw from over the pond. Give it to us.
Yeehaw! We've already been going an hour here, so ready for this. So ready from over the pond.
Over the pond. I'm so excited because just a quick fact, Sean and I actually got to meet in London. It was like, what was it? Is it already like a week and a half ago that we actually got to meet in London? So that was such a yeehaw moment for us. We were actually like looking at the palace, and here comes Sean right up the steps just to give out a big old yeehaw. So super excited that we got to meet in person. And now we got to be on here together with Ann and everybody. So we're going to go ahead and dive in, guys, because, howdy, Jennifer. We have an exciting lesson here. We are live. We are editing. We are creating a book live. And, Sean, being in London, he's like, we should actually have this based off of an amazing book called Katie Goes to London, or Katie in London. And so this is actually the theme of today is Katie in London. So if you guys haven't read that book, you have to. We have Anne in London, we have Farmer Fobs in London, we have Sean in London, but today it's all about, we're just all around the world. So y'all, friends, help me go ahead, and we are going to get started based off of this book, Katie in London. And guys, I know you guys already saw it. Talk about the imagery, talk about the illustrations of this book, talk about the story. Sean, tell us a little bit about this book so we can give our friends some context.
Yeah, there's so many, and basically I'm reading with my daughter, and it's Katie Goes To. And what I like about it, they're really normally like a gallery, an art gallery, or somewhere sort of historical. And she always goes with her grandma. And this is why I got talking to Forbes about it. And we're in the museum, and we went through the National Gallery, didn't we, in London? And we were checking out some of the Monet and all sorts of different people. And and basically the granny normally goes along with Katie and falls asleep on the bench, and then Katie goes off on an adventure into these paintings. And yeah, I know my daughter gets so much out of these books, as a story, but then we can follow up with, in real life and go to these places, London, or go and visit the galleries with these pictures. So yeah, so we got chatting, didn't we, Forbes, and thought this would be a great idea.
Yeah, and you really nailed it when we presented this idea to you, just all about how we can use this to create our own book. So we're gonna create our front cover together using a little bit of, I call it and magic, Adobe
Aw.
and magic. She always has a prompt for that, an idea to just recreate it. So Anne, walk me through, because we need an image
Yeah.
for this cover. Walk me through what ideas you got up your sleeve.
Okay, I love, first of all, that the inspiration is this beautiful story that Sean reads with his daughter, but y'all had the moments together in London, and that yeehaw, like, connectivity, happiness. And then I'm laughing that the grandma goes along on the adventures in the book. Fobs, I know your dear sweet grandma is so special in your life. And then in my head, this is how my brain works. In our story we're about to write, I volunteer to be the grandma that always falls asleep because I'm the old lady in the group. And so I'll be over on the bench sitting, resting my feet, having a cup of tea while y'all are off creating yeehaw moments all around the world. So
I can just see Anne just go, Fobs, get over here right now. Sean, stop doing that.
okay, y'all, in the chat, think up your prompt. Fobs has just said, we're going to start with our book cover. And I love Book Creator. I used it all the time as a coach in my district in Southern California. It's one of my evergreen tools. And I love that Adobe Express has the integration in the product to bring those visuals to life in new ways, or to enhance the ways that you're already working in this dynamic tool. But you see, we added a few resources on the screen, not only the PDF link that we can use as inspiration, but we just dropped a little reminder that comes from a Gen AI resource guide that we have. When you're creating a prompt, have your subject, your detail, perhaps style or background. And to me, this is this beautiful reminder of how to structure a good prompt. So think about this, and in the chat, if you want, what would your prompt be? But Fobs and Sean, I'm thinking what we should do to get started, I know you click that plus sign and you look for the rocket ship for the apps, and you see that Adobe Express icon with the image generation. And right there on the screen, you simply describe what you want to see. So we want to keep it in a watercolor style, and we want to have some kind of aerial view of the world, because I'm thinking big, nebulous, conceptual vision of our global trip. So let's do watercolor style, aerial view of the world. Let's keep it that simple, right? And start there, and click
I was
generate.
about to say,
Pro tip.
Girl, pro tip. We gotta add some style. And I think this is like a perfect example as to when to add a style, because we have this book, it's in watercolor, but we have this theme. So I'm gonna go to style. And can you talk to us why we would want to go to style instead of composition? Because I think there's times where we don't know which one to choose.
I can cover that for you. So yeah, head
Awesome.
to your style reference for visual vibe and artistic feel. So basically it represent the colors that you're looking for, the texture, the lighting. So yeah, this is really good if you want to sort of use your brand. So for example, if you're creating something, you want to use your school colors. So yeah, you want to add this style there.
Style. All right. I'm gonna now another pro tip is the book that we are using is right now it's landscape, and I often choose a landscape size book because it is the size of our templates, and so we can easily go ahead and click generate. But when you go to image size, we're going to click the 4x3 because it's going to fit our page just a little nicer. So we're going to go there and we're going to keep it art, and we are going to click generate.
So this, using that style guide, Sean, I love that you pointed it out. And this is one of those, I think, lesser used features. But check this out. Look at that first one that got returned. And I love that you have the ability to refresh if you want, but I think you landed on that first image.
You like that?
Gorgeous.
What do you think, Sean? What do you think?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I've been trying to sort of steer folks towards, sort of being more purposeful with the AI they're using, and rather than just creating for the sake of creating, let's create with purpose. And I mean, you may
Like
maybe
that.
ethical reasons, or I think just keep the human in the loop, really. So
Ooh, yes, 100%. So I'm gonna click add to book. All right, I'm gonna start creating.
wow.
So,
Oh, I love it.
ooh. Now, another pro tip is you notice that it's not going to fit the size of our book. It will go off page, but anything it goes off page when it's published, you won't be able to see. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to leave it right there, and I'm going to go to the eye. I call it the Inspector Gadget button, and it allows us just to be a little extra. And I'm going to click Crop Image. Now, I could come in here and I could do all of this, but y'all, Book Creator has made it easy for us. And so we have our different sizes of the book. And a lot of times this is like one of those like just hidden gems, because my kids are always like, I want to make it the size of the page. And they're always trying to like crop it. I'm like, look up there at the top. And their eyes just like, that's their yeehaw moment. So I'm going to click our landscape right there. Then I'm going to throw it right there to our cover. And I'm going to go back to the eye. And I'm going to send to back. All right. And I'm also going to take down the transparency just a tad bit, just to make sure that our words and our title. And then I might even copy and paste this, go to the eye. I'm just creating, guys. I'm just creating. And then we got it going on. So, I just love to like copy and paste my font and just like overlay it. It just adds a little, what I call extra, right? So y'all, we got it going on here.
That's a pretty great start to this book. And I'm fighting the urge to go da 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 Farmer Fobs, because you just showed what a few button clicks can do to completely transform something. And I love saying to push all the buttons. Push all the buttons. And so learning how to crop or make the background image transparent or even layer the image completely changes the visual element and the aesthetic. You just showed how simple it is. Copy text, change the picture. You created a custom shadow effect too, which is brilliant. So
Sean, right now, I'm just going to say, we made Mama proud. We made Grandma proud right there. We made Grandma proud.
Yeah, because I was going to say, Grandma, that is pushing the buttons live right there, what Farmer Forbes is doing.
Okay, so Fobs and Sean, this is our title, and Fobs and Sean Around the World. And the idea of this, we want to showcase not only how Adobe Express and Book Creator work together with this epic AI generated image like partnership, but also features inside of Book Creator. And Fobs, we've set up a few sample pages, but I have the book open on my screen in the background too. And I might just be adding some surprise pages as we go. But do you want to turn the page and jump into our story?
I am. And we were all brainstorming. We were all thinking, you got 3 creative people and just all creating those yeehaw moments. We're just throwing things on the page. And then I went back and I said, why didn't we have that vision board? And so if y'all encourage kids just to throw stuff on a page sometimes, and because you're going to actually see our thought process of how we went from this vision board to creating the story. But if you want to know where this vision board is, you can go to the +sign media templates, and then you can find this in our templates. You can just go vision board, and you can throw some vision boards on for your students, because it's a great time to just throw stuff on there and have the kids then, kind of collect their thoughts and create later. And it's just really cool because we all added our images right here. And we're going to go through how to delete the background on these different ones. Sean's got his dream vacation right there around the world. And then we also have our prompting. So just a super cool space that we all were able to just generally just kind of collect our ideas. Let's keep on going, Ann?
Yeah, let's do it. We have to have a setting for our story to begin. And on the farm is the only place, in my opinion, that the story can begin.
So this was just a really cool piece because, we travel a lot and I was in London, but to be honest, I always say the farm is my beach. Whenever I took a vacation, I was back on grandma's farm. So this was just, I had to create this, but this was a really cool way to create because I used the watercolor prompting and then just added Minnie Moo, added a king, added our sheep and chickens. But then I had to be a little extra. And I want to kind of walk you through how I've created this because here I can add some Giphies. And so you just go +apps, Giphies. And I'm also going to really encourage you to go to your stickers. You can type this in, but you can also use the speech to text. And I think that's game changer because, littles can actually use this as well. And they love this. Just kind of makes learning come alive. And then what I did was I used my little duplication feature and then I removed a background on this and I added me to the background. So just like a little thought process that I created there. And I have to add grandma. This is grandma. All right. This is with one of her original bunnies. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add her to the farm. It's only right. So I'm going to go to the eye and I'm going to remove background. And notice that it's not a plain white background. It's our barn. And so I can come in here, remove the background, watch it work. And hopefully here pretty soon, it's going to remove the background. Maybe it's thinking of, I can't replace the bunny. I can't take out the bunny. So let's watch it work a little bit. I'm going to leave it there. Usually doesn't take that long. Where we go.
Forbes, on that one, I noticed when I was using my free demo account, it told me how many backgrounds I could use, and I thought that was good because it's sort of another sort of purposeful way of using your resources.
Oh yeah, 100%. So we just added grandma. We removed the background, and guys, I thought it did pretty good. Did pretty good right there. Yeah. So we've added grandma to the farm. And Ann, I know you're dying to give us you dove into some translations, you dove into some speech to text. You had a yeehaw moment the other day. I know you're dying to share. So what else do you have to add here?
So also, just so you know, I just made a surprise page for later in the story, but we'll come back to that. You showed me something that I wasn't aware of existing inside of Book Creator. And this to me is a very powerful tool that everybody needs to be aware of. I knew you could record your voice, but I didn't realize a voice recording could be translated. And this to me is this beautifully inclusive feature that makes content even more accessible for everybody. And I think about my own learning community, all the speakers of other languages, the way that you can invite people to engage and actively participate simply by providing translated resources, right? So under that plus sign, you have the record option. And when you record, I added text to the story. One fine day, Farmer Fobs had a brilliant thought. I should gather my friends and take a trip around the world. With a generous sprinkle of feed and some extra water in the bins for all the animals, Farmer Fobs set off on an epic adventure. That's a mouthful in English, right? So imagine having somebody trying to translate that or understand it if English is not their first language. Fobs, I can go in real time and record on my side, and I'm only going to the first sentence for the sake of time and this demonstration. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm clicking record on mine. Yep. When you do the same, go ahead and click on it because I know it won't start recording until you click that yellow button. I'm going to do it on my end and record that first sentence, and then we'll do the translation on your screen so folks can
Sounds good.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Live.
One fine day, Farmer Fobs had a brilliant thought. I should gather my friends and take a trip around the world. And so for the sake of that, I see, do you want to use this recording? Yes, I'm going to use this recording. And you see in real time, I now have this little speech bubble. I can move it around. I can make it bigger. I'm just going to put it up here on the left corner.
Wow. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to go to the eye. And I might even go in just so I can have it blend in.
Okay.
I'm going to use our eyedropper, and I'm going to make it the same color as Minnie Moo. Maybe I can. There we go. Eye. There we go. Background. Eyedropper. There we go. And so you can change the colors too. And Anne, are we ready to make the yeehaw moments?
Friends, let us know in the chat. Have you tried the record feature, but have you tried the translate recording feature? Game changer, mind blown, mic drop moment. I love this. Show us how it happens.
So make sure you click on your voice and go to the eye, which is that inspector button. And then I'm going to go to translate. It's going to translate the audio in the native language, and we can have it automatically generate that transcript. And this is a true yeehaw moment because, you know, every kid has a voice. And I think Stella said it perfectly. Book Creator is made of layers of multimedia content, fostering just changed in a new way to decode text, audios, and visuals with accessibility features. She said it amazingly. We're going to switch this and choose language. All right. Let's just go to Spanish, and we can also change the voice, which is in a human voice. It sounds amazing. And so we're going to switch it to just voice C, and notice what it does. It will duplicate. All right. And then I'm going to come in here to the eye, and I'm going to change the color into a blue, and it really actually adds some design to your page. But it's an amazing way to be able to hear. You can hear this in your native language, but then also you can hear it in the one that was translated. And you know, Anne, a lot of times I always say is like, you know, as a teacher, I could use my voice to, you know, give instructions or explain something, and then I could translate it for any students. But also, I'm going to go even and add another layer. And I think this is where the true yeehaw moment happens, is when we give our students the option to translate.
Yeah.
And when they record their voice in their native language and be able to, you know, talk about what they've learned and tell their story, and they go in and translate it. And you imagine just watching a teacher being able to listen to their story and seeing that kid's yeehaw moment for the very first time. I think it's game changer. So many people in the chat are noticing that this is actually a feature some people haven't known. Like my good friend Janet says, it bridges the gap, and I think that's 100% correct. So it's an amazing feature, and so glad
I've got
that
a yeehaw on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when a student leaves a voice note, they're not just speaking, they're reflecting, rehearsing, and owning their ideas. And then, sharing them with a real world audience, sharing them in other languages. So that's a yeehaw.
Yeah, that's a yeehaw moment. Let's keep on going. You guys know I'm leaving the farm. I'm going on an adventure.
Hey, put the water in the bins.
We got Anne. You got to tell us all about your adventure.
All right. So the next page of the book, Farmer Fobbs has set off from the farm. First stop, Machu Picchu, Peru. Farmer Fobbs found Anne high atop the mountain singing with a friendly llama. Anne, let's find Sean and set off, Farmer Fobbs said. The world awaits, and we've got yeehaw moments to make. So, of course, I used the Adobe Express integration, the same process by creating, oh, hey, look at that. And Fobbs is adding that yeehaw moment with one of our favorite little movie characters and a big old yeehaw right up there. And I'll admit, I had to do a few generations of this because the watercolor effect was not coming out to what I wanted it visually to look like. And I think it's because the ruins at Machu Picchu, you know, it's the outline of buildings and previous structures that existed there. And so it was coming out very geometric. And I wanted a different like watercolor aesthetic. So I had to do this one a few times. And then I leveraged the Giphy feature to add some fun little, you know, effects and find my friendly llama sitting on top. But I think that for me, the big like aha here, when you duplicated a picture and removed the background to have some like effects, was a beautiful hint. But I just think about these in layers, how you moved that background, the text box, etc. Those are just different things that we can do. So if you wanted to remove the background, this is a great way to see how you can.
Ooh, look at that.
Really cool.
It's a great hack.
Right? I know it's a fun
Yeah,
hack to be aware of
yeah,
and hope people create. So I could be popping out from behind the mountain, right?
yeah,
That's a really fun way to look at it too. So,
yeah.
yep. And
That's
then
cool.
bring that. I'm gonna bring that llama, to the front or whatever. You move it, whatever. You see Fobs changing things on the screen, right? I love it.
We're just creating on the fly. And another really cool aspect of Book Creator is we can also we can even come in here and let's say you've written this story and you might not have be able to read it in your voice in the recording. I'm going to point out that you can also have that read aloud to you as well. You have the read to me. So I think that's really really cool. And I think another thing is and you even pointed out, and I think you did this the other day, was how could we also translate this? Walk me through the steps, and I think you did it the other day. Did you copy this?
Yep. So
And
I
then you
simply
pasted it.
copied it. Yep, I copied it.
Yep.
Actually, I think I had 2 text boxes.
Mm,
So I went in and had a
yep.
text box, one in English, and then I copied the text and then translated the second text box. And for me,
Perfect.
that was another way to have that visual support. And
Yep.
again, you could then overlay the audio recording, the translated audio recording. To me, I want to make sure content is visually accessible or provides the supports. To me, that read aloud feature I think is so brilliant. I taught first grade students. I had a high percentage of English learners. So hearing somebody with the oral language fluency model the read aloud, it's a brilliant support that's embedded in the product. And I love also that in this create mode, you can put things on the side, have your reference image,
Yeah.
drop it in as a visual, or it's a great comparison. So I might actually move this down and have the Spanish at the bottom, etc., and just layer things on the screen so you can see with a few clicks of a button how we completely transform this page from its original state. But I think we need to keep reading and find out what happens on the next page.
I think we do. I love those ads. Where are we heading with Sean?
Oh. So with a hop, skip, and a great big jump across the Atlantic Ocean, Farmer Fobbs and Anne found Sean on holiday in England, hiking with his family. Sean, let's go. We've got yeehaw moments to make, Farmer Fobbs cheered. I'm ready. Let's go, Sean replied enthusiastically. And Sean, tell us first of all about this dear little picture and who that little sweetie is riding on your shoulders. And let's talk about this page.
Yes, so
Oh, look
this
at
is
that.
a place called Wustonbury Hill, and it's on the South Downs in East Sussex. And yeah, the South Downs is famous for obviously the Battle of Britain and the Germans coming and going, and the English coming and going. Yeah, full of potholes, but there's this huge hill, and my daughter, age 5, was determined to climb this hill with me. However, age 5, she's like, carry me. So I'm kind of halfway up. And yeah, of course, she's not too heavy still to carry her. And I probably will miss the day when I can't carry her anymore. So I'm like, even though it was quite heavy, I'm like, yes, of course. And she's on top, and she's like, we're going to make it. And sure enough, we made it to the top of the hill and at Wustonbury Hill. And it's a really fun, lovely memory from this summer just gone.
Okay, Fobbs, how sweet is that? Adding a little I love my dad image. But I want to talk about how I use the style reference guide in Adobe Express. And you can see the comparison of the picture that was generated compared to the original. And my prompt was a bright, like a blue, cloudy sky. Okay, it was a blue, cloudy sky and a green, grassy hill with a man walking away and his daughter riding on his shoulders. So I literally just kept it simple language and described Sean's picture. And I thought that was such a lovely interpretation of it. But I used that style reference guide inside of Adobe Express, and you can see the contrast of like the torso above the green and how the curvature of the hill matches. So it's a really cool example of how that style reference like keeps the visual vibe and that artistic feel the same from the suggested imagery to the generated AI picture. So
this is fabulous.
I love it.
Really, really cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And Sean, read what you just put.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, it's it's replicating the style and the colors and the lighting and the tone, and then the composition is another feature, and it will just recreate sort of the framing and the figure, and so it picks up really well actually, but it's just picked up those tones so good just on style. And I often add the same picture to both, and it really sort of levels up.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's a nice little hint that you add the same picture to style and composition. I love that little tip.
So composition is layout and structure, and reference is vibe and artistic feel.
Love it.
Also, that plane is adorable in my opinion.
And there's another
I'm just here to add all the Giphies.
There's another thing that in the content as well. So if you want to be more intentful, there's the little content button and drop down for art, for photos. So you can really I think it's a good time to, because we're all generating images, but let's kind of level up our students and our learners, and really make them purposeful creators.
I love it. Are we ready to find out what's next?
Yep.
Yes, we are.
I just feel like Mama Ann is on that back end adding more pages and just continue to tell the story.
I'm editing my text. I'm editing the text on the final.
I'm like, I feel like I need to go to pages. I knew she was up to something.
You're gonna have to refresh it.
I just gave him a sneak peek.
Oh my god. Okay, so these three friends had full and happy hearts. They made yeehaw moments everywhere they went, sharing ideas and celebrating innovation, storytelling, and creativity. Walking down the River Thames in London, Sean chuckled and said, I wonder where we'll go on our next adventure. But let's go through the process, and there you go. Look, she's already added.
I don't know.
Yep.
Oh, look, National Gallery. I got to find the London Bridge.
That's the Tower Bridge, my friend.
Sorry, yes, I know that. I learned that. Janet's probably in the chat yelling at me because we took an Uber boat to the Tower Bridge. And then there's this little bridge before we get to the Tower Bridge that's called the London Bridge. Okay. Learned it. But it was really cool. I was just like, oh, we have to tell people where we are. And I can add this with the Google Maps.
Yep.
So I just think that's a really cool little feature. Okay, keep going, Ann.
Fun fact. Sean, correct me if I'm wrong. You might know. If I click on it, can I go in and look at yours? Like when I'm collaborating in a book and I can see, I can edit that picture. I can click into it. I can zoom in a little bit. I'm trying it now. So in real time. Yeah, look, I'm making real changes in real time. Okay, cool. I'm sorry. That was me wanting to push all the buttons and just kind of see what happens.
Sorry, I'm jumping in now. I didn't realize.
That's okay.
And I think while Sean's coming in, I want to point this out because I love this feature about Book Creator is that all three of us are working on the same book and we're collaborating. You're able to see in real time, and I'm actually able to see. And I think that's just really, really cool. And that, people can go on different pages and have some surprises. So I always love just the real-time collaboration that Book Creator provides.
Okay, I'm making an edit to my last page because this is where y'all thought the story ended. But really, there is another page that's been added. So, they all had the same idea for an epic, out-of-this-world yeehaw moment.
This is cool. I feel like we all need cowboy hats.
And thank you, Rachel Lemansky in the chat. Oh my gosh, I love the chat today, y'all. Push all the buttons.
It's been fire.
Yeah.
This was my mantra in the classroom with my students. It was also my mantra with the educators that I was supporting. in my district. And who knows, maybe they do wear cowboy hats in space. We don't know. But guess what? In our story,
but guess what? We do.
Yep.
We do.
Yep.
The push all the buttons. The best way is to learn by playing, you know, and I love giving this to students because that's what they do. And pushing the buttons is play. So all of you on the webinar today, I want you to go back and be youngsters yourself and just play and push the buttons. And I love what Michelle discovered the other day, and Rachel, just go for it.
So speaking of pushing all the buttons, Sean, the next page is a ton of resources that you've included in here, which are kind of like those aha moments that help people turn into creating yeehaw moments to better understand how Adobe Express works inside. Well, how Adobe Express image generation works. So do you want to talk about this?
Yeah. So for my image of the Brighton Royal Pavilion there, I sort of played around with some of Shell McConville's prompts that she created when we added that resource there. And I played around with it. And actually, Anne mentioned this earlier, my prompt for the Royal Pavilion was a children's book illustration of a Royal Pavilion with onion domes, dreamy pastel colors. Yeah, and it created this, as you can see, this Royal Pavilion. But then to sort of show how I wanted to sort of level up and be more purposeful, I added the reference image of the Royal Pavilion, and I also added the style image as well. And and it just created, you know, the colors I wanted and then the composition I wanted.
Yeah, I love it.
And then there's another little button there, Forbes. I just wanted to point out after you've done that. So content, if you had content, that kind of honed you in more. I didn't add no content for mine, but that would just sort of hone you in more. So photo, reel, vector, clean, graphic, stylized, and art. You can add that, and then also see just below the prompt box.
Oh, go back up, Fobs. Go back up.
Right here.
Yeah, click on that. Push all the buttons, and then zoom off, and there's another little.
Ooh, I love.
I think we just discovered that today, didn't we?
True story. Sean taught me about that today. I did not know that was right there. Whether I don't see it, but I love that Adobe is adding learning supports, resources, and guides into the product to help people. So this teaches, you know, some great guidelines, conversations you can be having in your learning communities with students. And then in the reference book that Book Creator has made for the AppSmash with all the companies, we included a bunch of those resources for the guides that Sean's sharing on this page. So as we get ready to wrap up too, I thought, you know, this is a brilliant way to just point out the resources. Sean, thank you for adding those. Yes. And then y'all, all that waits next is outer space, right?
That's it. I mean, I think we've gone everywhere around the world.
Hang on. No. Hang on. Hold it. Just hold. How would you say it in cowboy style? Hold it a dag.
Giddy up. Oh, no. Whoa.
So Katie, at the end of the Katie books, Grandma always wakes up and there's like a sort of a kind of a surprise. And I couldn't do that in real time, I'm afraid, Forbes. But sometimes she wakes up and she says, "All right, let's go home for a cup of tea now." And Katie tells all about adventures. So
Aww.
It definitely reminds me when you know, I went to London and I went to the UK and went out of the country for the first time, and I came back home, and who did I have to tell all about my adventures? Grandma was waiting for me on her chair, waiting to hear all about her adventures, and I told her all about me and Sean, and she just was like, you know what, that's just really, really cool. And just how the community has really, social media, it's crazy the impact of social media and just getting able to meet people in real life for the first time. So I definitely had to share all of my adventures with Grandma.
Oh, well, we love it. And this was definitely a yeehaw moment for us today to celebrate the possibilities. Thank you for sharing Adobe and your AppSmash Bash. I love talking about, you know, how these two products can work together. And then the dynamic resource book, y'all, that 2025 AppSmash Bash resource book. We have a link to Adobe Express. We have a quick tour, some big ideas that y'all can have. And we'd love to point out 2 great resources. edu.adobe.com is our new community landing page. Tons of conversations, discussions, resources are being shared. And we have an awesome Adobe Creative Educator Leader community. You can find ways to get connected to the community there. But I just want to say thanks to Book Creator. Y'all are such great friends. I love celebrating this epic integration of the products and how they work together. But Sean and Fobs, thanks for letting me go on this adventure with y'all today.
Thanks for going around the world with us. Appreciate it. And thanks for taking me around the world. That was so much fun. Well, thanks, y'all. We love the Adobe family. We love the Book Creator family. And y'all is such a special group. It is always such a special time and full of yeehaw moments with Ann and Sean. Thank you guys for tuning in. I absolutely loved the chat. Guys, giddy up, yeehaw, have your yeehaw moments in Book Creator in Adobe Express. And we'll see you next time.
Sean, let's hear yeehaw.
Let's get that yeehaw.
Thanks,
Yeehaw.
everyone. Yeah. And I just wanted to, we're a global community. Yeah. Yeehaw to that.
Awesome.